What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be bringing the KRX onto the driveway. I mean, it's already on the driveway, but we're gonna bring it right here under the lamp because this is where the magic happens. Now, I spent all morning just kind of cleaning the garage a little bit, washing the CRX to get it nice and spiffy, because I really wanted to see how much the red paint matches the car. I think it matches really well. Granted, the car is single stage and the fender and bumper is base coat, clear coat. Right here, you can't, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's just slightly lighter here. Now, this is only 2.5 coat versus single stage solid paint. If I had done another coat or so, I think this would have matched up really well. If you guys haven't seen the last video, we painted the bumper and the fender on this CRX to kind of get rid of the like mismatched color going on with the car. And I'm super stoked that it is now finally all red aside from the carbon fiber hood. And we also loaded up the K24 on the new engine stand for the KRX, guys. But in today's video, we're not going to be putting this in the car. I did explain that I still need a few parts and stuff to put on a 24 before we swap it into the KRX, but we're gonna move the KRX to the driveway, guys, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what we're gonna do in today's video. So I've been sitting here trying to fix this heater control unit. This is the one that came out of Leo's car. When I took out the dashboard, it literally just fell apart. I had this whole entire unit like taken apart, and I had this sitting overnight with epoxy, and I just finished putting it back together, but it looks like it's not going to hold up because the plastic is very brittle. I put a bunch more epoxy on the areas that are cracked, and I'm just going to let that sit. But yesterday we were getting ready to pull the dashboard out, and I kind of closed up early because I didn't realize we had a family gathering. There was just so many people here, so many cars and stuff, and I just kind of closed up for the day and, you know, dined in with the family. So today I was just looking at the under dashboard. I haven't really seen underneath the dashboard since I put this car back together, but I looked at it yesterday and I'm kind of debating otherwise. Take you guys underneath here real quick and show you guys how it looks underneath here. Now, for one, I forgot I'm running this center vent triple gauge pod, and I like it being here. So I went underneath here to take a look at all the stuff that's behind the dashboard, and all of the heater like plugs and stuff are still here. I didn't cut them, I just zip tied them out of the way. But I have the prop valve sitting right there where the heater box normally would sit at, in this general area. And then I have my brake lines coming off the firewall about 3 inches, and that is definitely going to be in the way and would need to be redesigned and tucked somewhere else. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute, this car is also full hydro. I converted this car to full hydro when I did the K-swap. And normally when you go full hydro, you can't run the driver's side heater vent units, which sits in that corner over there, like right here. With the hydro conversion bracket in the way, you can't put the heater tube from the center box to the control unit over there. So we won't have driver's side heat. And because I want to keep this here, we're not going to have center heat. And the only heat we're really going to get is that. So that's what I was saying about going against my plan of putting all the heater control units back in. I've had my EF sedan for 10 years. And for about 6 or 7 of that year, I never had the heater box in it. So I'm completely used to it. When I did the right-hand drive in the wagon, I didn't have the heater stuff in it for about 5 years before I decided to put it back in 2018. But I think I'm gonna go against my plan of putting all the heater stuff back in. So we're not gonna be tearing out the dashboard, but I did kind of want to tear the dashboard out anyways because I wanted to flock it. I got a whole pound of blue flock and black flock that I want to try to spice up this interior a little bit and flock it, but I'm not entirely sure. The dashboard is really clean. Maybe if I get a spare one, I'll flock it. I also want to flock the door panels because of this right here. So I don't know, maybe that'll be a future video to come here soon. I do want to try flocking, and I have a bunch of door panels that I could try it on. Now, because we're not pulling the engine out of the car, because I'm waiting for a few stuff to show up, because I need the engine to be in the car for mock-up purposes. So the K20 is going to be sitting in here until then. But I guess what else I can do today is flip this Marasaka around and I guess start pulling off the oil pump and get it all prepped for the Type S oil pump. Ooh. Damn, this thing wants to go, my boy. Got this bolt right here stopping it from swinging all the way, but fully accessible. So looks like I'm gonna need some 10s, crank pulley. So I'm rotating the crankshaft to TDC so that way I can see if all the markings are lined up, just so that we know how much the chain is stretched. I'm at this point right here where the arrow is almost matched up, but we are stuck right here. I wonder if it has a bent valve, because K24 tensioners are known to fail. I'm gonna pull the valve cover off. Damn, I am very curious on how many miles are on this engine and if the person even changed their goddamn oil. Holy snap. Yeah, so shit, dude, this thing is super gunked. Do I take off the cylinder head? Maybe I take off the spark plugs first. Surprising discovery. These are fairly new NGKs. I mean, they're not like crazy burnt up or anything, and obviously been replaced before. The coil packs, these are also NGK, but only 2 of the 4 coil pack are replaced with these NGK ones, and the other 2 are OEM as well. I literally just saw this. I don't know if you guys see this arrow right here. You see how it's pointing down, right? And this cylinder is on TDC. It's at the very top. You see this one, it's pointing towards the exhaust side, and we are not lined up down there yet. You can see the 2 arrows about a tooth off. That's crazy. Yeah, the crank is stuck. It doesn't rotate either or ways. So right here is going down and it's stuck right there. If I go the opposite way, we are stuck right there. So I'm gonna pull the timing stuff off real quick and see if I could time it back and see how far it's off, because based off the holes here, I don't see like anything bent. Same goes on this side. I don't really see anything bent. Guys, what the hell is this? Dude, this thing has got like fur or webs or something sitting on here. And I feel like the reason why it didn't rotate is all of that residual, all the carbon buildup right there is caked up between where the valves would seat on the piston. Can you guys see that right there? The left one, the bottom left? That's the indentation of the valve trying to seat on the piston, but all that buildup is on it. You know, honestly, I don't think it's that bad. Look at this one. Super caked up. It's probably why it didn't rotate. I'm gonna clean that up. I'm definitely gonna clean that up, man. I feel like this engine's still good, just not entirely sure how all of that got into the cylinder when it had spark plugs in it. One more look. What in tarnations? Let's clean it up. God dang, boy. God dang, boy. Before you guys question me, this wire wheel is very soft. It's not stiff like my other ones. So this shouldn't scratch into the piston as long as you got a little control over the drill. Now we got the pistons cleaned up. It's funny because this thing is like polished out and it looks like forged pistons, but they are stock RBB pistons. It was a great decision to take the cylinder head off, even though none of that was intentional, guys. All I wanted to do was the freaking oil pump and call it a day. But I noticed that the timing marks were all completely off and the crank wouldn't rotate fully. So now we have the crank rotating freely. That's freaking awesome. Again, we didn't see any like shaving in the oil pan, so I don't believe there's like spun bearing or anything along that line. We do have the cylinder head off now and it is pretty gunked up, so I definitely want to take this to the machine shop to get it all cleaned out and, you know, get a clean fresh resurface on here as well. I didn't really check to see if it had a bent valve, granted how much the timing was off, but it doesn't seem bent whatsoever, so that's good. I mean, the machine shop, they're gonna check it for me, and you know, we'll sort that when we get to the cylinder head part of it. So there's not really much more I can do tonight with the engine and the car itself, but I think before we close up, I am going to try to fit the 20 pump, which I have down there, onto the 24 block. There are a few more things I need to buy to permanently put it on, so I'm just gonna mock it up and then order other parts accordingly. Now with the parts I want to order, we're gonna need a new head gasket. I'm definitely going to change the chain, the tensioner for sure. I'm not entirely sure about the guides just yet. They're not really worn down, broken, or chipped, so I may be able to reuse this. But depending on the price, maybe I'll get new guides as well too. But I got to buy the chain for the oil pump and just a list of stuff that I need to assemble this whole entire 24 back together before we throw it in the car. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean everything up real quick, put everything away, and we'll flip the sucker around. So this right here is a 20 windage tray, and you need this for the 20 pump and 24 because, you know, the pump is definitely smaller. So this is going to sit, I'm gonna guess right there, or not. Maybe it's this way. I'm not entirely sure. There it is. It sits right there. I don't have the entire kit to show you guys this thoroughly. I'm just modifying the pump as we go to kind of make a little more progress. But once I have all the parts, I am definitely going to do a step-by-step, because you got to remove that little plug and block that off, and there's a lot of little process to putting the 20 pump on, and that is all we're gonna do right now. Not permanently, but just for right now. So as far as I remember, the 20 pump, you have to modify it somewhere here to clear the 24 girdle, and you can see we're not even closed gap, so we're gonna have to modify the pump just a bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my marker and mark out where I need to cut it so we can cut this little wall out to fit there. And we are looking good. Nice and flush, got some clearance. Yes, sir. So guys, we got the 20 pump on the 24 installed, kind of. Not really, but we modified it to fit the 24 girdle, and it is secured. Now, I still need to get the rest of the stuff, the chain and all, to permanently install this onto the 24 block and all of the screws for the windage tray. But I think when we do get to installing this permanently on the 24, I am going to open this up. I am going to check the clearance tolerances for the gear and stuff for the 20 pump, because this did come from the junkyard, and I also want to port this out right here to open up the flow for the oil. So that's probably going to be all in its own video, but then again, I'm going to probably do it all together when I have all the timing components. But this is gonna pretty much be the last portion for today's video, guys. Not much more that I can do, so I'm gonna seal it up with the oil pan. I just cleaned the TSX oil pan. Not entirely sure if it's different than the 20 steel oil pan, but I'm just gonna toss it on there for the time being. I do have the other steel pan as well too, in case they are different, but right now I just need this to cover all this up. Okay, well, it looks like it fits. So put some screws down, secure that, and roll it into the garage. So it's not much in today's video, guys, but we now know our mystery junkyard engine and what all it needs to you know, bring it back up to par. Thank goodness it's not worser than I had thought it was gonna be, but we're definitely going to be able to use the 24 in the KRX. So if you guys enjoyed today's update on the KRX and what all is to follow with it, be sure to leave this video a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for the refresh of the 24, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.